If you're sitting in too many meetings, owning too many outcomes, or owning too many to-dos that are unclear with the outcomes and wondering why you're always in the weeds, this pod is for you.
Welcome to VI Live, where the CEO dreams it and the COO makes it happen. Here are your hosts, Lori McColl and Ashleigh Laabs.
This episode, we got a good one because we're coming in hot. What is the most ridiculous thing you found yourself doing at 2 a.m.? Because you were wearing too many hats.
Well, today has been a day of wearing hats. That's what I was just saying to Sarah. Like, it has been a ridiculous day of wearing hats. So, well, I'm not a 2 a.m.er by any means. So let's just say, like, the most ridiculous thing I found myself doing because I was wearing too many hats, let's just use today. I just spent 2 hours on the phone with Verizon Wireless. So.
Oh, God. Say no more.
Why?
Say no more. Say no more. Say no more.
I got bounced around from
Jesus.
Person to person with no resolution.
I've got to be honest, there's a massive customer service issue with all software. I mean, it feels like a lot of different areas of our life.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is for a client, right? We're trying to get them set up. We're trying to get data as a backup on our entire client's digital infrastructure. And why is it so hard? Why are simple things so hard? That's always my question.
That's it. I mean, today has just been like a spiral. I said I've been on customer service calls. I've been on client calls. I've talked to people in varying time zones, like multiple time zones, different countries. So we're not even talking US. We're talking multiple countries. So, and then I made my kid lunch. So, like, the mom hat. I somehow got makeup on today. So, I mean, I'm telling you.
I love it. Well, with that, let's kick it into the intro. Well, welcome everybody to the next episode for Startup Founders and Business Partners, where we integrate the vision live with all of you. What does that mean? For other founder teams, co-founder teams, or business partners, as you're growing your company, we take you every week through the shit that we have to deal with. And welcome to VI Live for this week, which is, hey, you're wearing multiple hats. How do you move from wearing multiple hats to building real seats? So, Ash, why don't you kick it off?
Absolutely. I'm Ashleigh, COO of WHIM Innovation, and today we're talking about something that keeps founder teams stuck, trying to scale without clearly defined roles. And this is one of my favorite topics. Lori knows this. I love clarity, and definitely clarity in roles. And we actually I had a fun conversation with one of our clients last week while we were up north in the UP in Michigan, talking about roles and accountability and just getting into this topic of if you put these parameters and put some definition around these things, you really get the clarity that you need to not be stuck anymore. So, as we're talking about wearing all of these hats, the reality is we actually do have a lot of clarity in our business now. Although chaos can still come to happen and seems to be the day for it.
Yeah, well, and as your unofficial chief chaos coordinator, which Sarah from our team gave me the hat, I can't really say that I'm the chief chaos coordinator because I do know I create some of the chaos, and I also know we enjoy some of the chaos, but nonetheless, If you're sitting in too many meetings, owning too many outcomes, or owning too many to-dos that are unclear with the outcomes and wondering why you're always in the weeds, this pod is for you. So,
Absolutely.
uh-huh.
Here's the truth. You can't delegate if you haven't defined the role. And I think if you've watched any of our other podcasts, you know that I love delegating. And until you have that true clarity on who owns what, you're not leading, you're just reacting. So, reacting instead of actually having that leadership of delegation and knowing where things are clearly living and accountable to. Without that, you're in reaction mode, you're moving things along, but you're not actually driving accountability and growth. So, what is the cost of wearing all of the hats? For a long time, we thought being involved in everything was a strength, but it's actually a bottleneck.
Huge bottleneck. And what I love, Ashleigh, you always say, it isn't difficult if it's defined. That's what you said the other week when we were like working through something. I think it was a contract or something. And she goes, it's not difficult if it's defined, if the deliverables, the outcome, the scope are defined, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, I go between reviewing invoices, figuring out those things, jumping into deliveries where it's super technical, then chasing sales, coming up with like offers and campaigns, all while just trying to lead the business. And on top of that, this week I got sick out of nowhere for 2 days, which really just causes a total crash out for me, because everything that was in my queue was slowed down and required an immediate delegation or like, I guess delegation or deprioritization.
Yeah.
But the key takeaway, what's the cost of wearing all hats? If you're doing everything, you're building nothing. It's the old saying, if you're working in the business, you are not working on the business. So why don't we walk through, Ashleigh, how we build out real roles?
Yeah, absolutely. We sat down and asked, what are the core functions that the company actually needs to run, not who does them? Just what are they? So you're not putting people into positions. You're saying, what are the roles? What are the responsibilities? And what are the things that we actually need for the organization? And we defined areas: marketing, business, finance, operations, delivery, growth. And then you put the actual owners and the position titles into those roles and not before that. So most of the time people are like, oh, I have Susie, and Susie over here is really good at X, Y, and Z, and Susie needs to do these things. Okay, you could do it that way, but you're going to run into roadblocks and bottlenecks because you're trying to build something for a specific individual and not for the organization and the company that you actually need to build a growth plan for. So start with the role and the core functions of the organization, and then start to figure out who are the right people that need to go into those areas, which is a huge core function and framework of the entrepreneurial operating system, EOS. So we're not, reinventing the wheel here, nothing new, but it's huge and it has great impact.
Well, and I love that because I think the other piece that we've shared in past podcasts, but we can continue to iterate or to bring the point home, which is job descriptions and tasks are different than outcomes. And so what we do with each role is we set quarterly outcomes that role is expected to deliver on. And those are different each quarter. Some of them build, some of them are unique, some of them are net new. But everybody knew that where we were leading from and where we were supporting them. And that's what success looked like in their lane. And that's what success looked like for us. So our takeaway in this little segment on building out real roles is, can you hold someone accountable to a structure you've never communicated? Or you can't hold someone accountable to a structure you've never communicated. So kind of, no brainer, but as you're moving real fast and things are changing and issues come up, you have to constantly redefine that. And I remember, Ashleigh, like when we were going through our big pivot, like we almost had an accountability meeting every week as part of our leadership meeting to say, okay, this is the context of your role. Here are the different things we need you to focus on because things are moving so fast, but it fits into the big picture and it does fit into the quarterly goals. It just means the day-to-day might move a little bit, but the team was receptive. As long as we communicated, they were on board. So if you could share, oh, sorry, I cut you off there.
No. I was just going to say, especially in businesses that are fast-paced growth. I mean, I've worked in companies that have the accountability chart conversation once a year. And then for us, we were talking about it once a week. And it just seemed so rapid. But because we were communicating it, the team, they were flowing with us because that's what we needed in the organization. And it wasn't about just, okay, this is your role and this is who you are right now and this is your skill set. It was, this is what the organization needs and we just have to keep going.
Yeah, totally agree. And the results for us, I can say, were better energy. Everyone had ownership and they also had spaces to lead. And I think that's a really important takeaway because giving up control for us isn't losing. It's really leveling up. And that is hard. It is hard to give up control. And it's hard to say, hey, now you own this piece that I used to own. And yes, this is how I would have done it. But you might have a different approach or you might be learning through that. And you might come up with a different approach. And that's okay. I mean, this is all leveling up. But letting go is leveling up. Asking for help is leveling up. Delegating is leveling up. And being clear is leveling up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we just revisited our leadership structure again, and it sparked some new conversations too about capacity, accountability, and what we should be holding versus what we can release. So like you said, the whole leveling up piece, I think that's a big component here. And I just wanted to put that out there in terms of, just continuously revisiting that and looking at that is a big piece. So when we're looking at our next role, if you're stuck in multiple roles, start by asking, what's the one function that only you need to lead? So what is that one piece? And it goes back to visiting that structure, right? And the accountability chart again. So what is the one function that you need to lead, and how do you get there?
And I'd say then look at what's left, right? And I think there's always like this great framework. They say, like, can you document it? Can you delegate it? Can you design a system? And now the thought process is, can you design an AI agent to own it? So the clarity break for this section is what's the next role that your business needs after you've taken care of what is currently existing in all of your processes and to-dos and all those things. What's the next role your business needs, and who will lead it if it's not you? So with that, we're keeping this short and sweet. We're coming in hot for wearing too many roles on a day where I feel like our day is out of control, but we are all in control right now. And as always, you can find and connect with us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube at We Are WHIM. You can discover more of our resources and episodes at wearewhim.com. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.